Hola amigos. Bienvenidos a su audio diario de práctica. Muy bien, les quería felicitar por su compromiso y constancia, es la clave para obtener resultados. Todos los audios que emitimos son con el fin de ayudarte a impulsar tu carrera. No olvides visitar nuestra página web.
The artistic process, unveiling the journey behind creation. Creating art is often seen as a mystical act, a spark of divine inspiration, a moment of genius, or the result of innate talent. But behind every finished piece lies a deeper, often invisible journey, a complex process of experimentation, failure, reflection, and discovery. Whether painting a canvas, composing a song, writing a poem, or choreographing a dance, the artistic process is as much about the evolution of the creator as it is about the final work. In this article, we explore the key stages of artistic creation, while acknowledging that no two artists, or processes, are the same. Each path is unique, but there are common threads that bind them all. 1. The spark, inspiration and intention. Every creative act begins with a moment, sometimes sudden, sometimes slow, where something shifts inside. It might be triggered by a personal experience, a political event, a dream, a memory, or a simple color or sound. In this early stage, the artist asks questions like, what do I want to express? Why is this idea calling me? Is this the right moment to explore it? Inspiration is not always clear or logical. Sometimes, it's a whisper that doesn't yet have words. For many artists, this phase includes sketching, note-taking, daydreaming, or collecting references. It's a time of openness, of saying yes to the unknown. 2. Research and immersion. Once an idea takes root, many artists dive into research. This doesn't always mean reading books, though it can. Research might involve observing people or nature, visiting locations, exploring materials or techniques, studying historical or cultural contexts, interviewing others or engaging in community dialogue. A filmmaker developing a documentary may spend months talking to people before turning on a camera. A visual artist might study ancient textiles before designing a contemporary installation. In this stage, the artist builds a world of references, both external and internal, that will shape the work's tone, form, and depth. 3. Experimentation and play. This is where things begin to take form, or not. Artists often enter a period of trial and error, testing materials, styles, and ideas without the pressure of perfection. It's a critical phase where failure becomes a teacher. A dancer might try different movements to embody a feeling. A writer might draft 5 versions of the same paragraph. A musician may improvise with sound textures before finding the right rhythm. This is a phase of playfulness and courage. The artist must confront uncertainty and resist the urge to control everything. It's also a time when collaboration can be vital, bouncing ideas off others, inviting feedback, or even co-creating. 4. Structure and discipline. Once the core of the idea is clear, artists begin to shape the work with greater intention. The poetic chaos of early exploration gives way to structure. This phase involves outlining, composing, or rehearsing. Making technical choices, medium, scale, duration. Establishing a timeline or process flow. Refining the narrative or aesthetic. Discipline becomes essential here. The artist must show up, often daily, and push through resistance. Many works never reach this phase, lost in the fog of doubt or the lure of distraction. Yet, it's often during this time that the artist experiences flow, a deep, focused engagement with the act of making. Ideas sharpen, forms emerge, and the work begins to live. 5. Reflection and refinement. Before the work is considered complete, the artist steps back. This can be the most difficult and critical part, evaluating the work with honesty, and often, a bit of heartbreak. Questions arise. Does this express what I meant to say? Where is it too much, or too little? What needs to be cut, added, or transformed? Here, feedback from trusted peers or mentors can be invaluable. Critique is not a threat, but a mirror. The artist refines the piece, sometimes returning to earlier stages, until a sense of clarity, coherence, or even surrender, arrives. 6. Release and reception. Finally, the work leaves the studio, the notebook, the stage. It meets its audience. This phase is both exhilarating and vulnerable. Once shared, the piece no longer belongs solely to the artist. Viewers, readers, or listeners bring their own interpretations and emotions. Some reactions may surprise, delight, or even wound. But every artistic work is an offering, a bridge between inner and outer worlds. The artist grows not only by making the piece but by letting it go. Conclusion: art as process, not just product. Too often, we celebrate the final result without acknowledging the journey it took to get there. The artistic process is rarely linear. It's circular, messy, intuitive, and deeply human. By understanding this process, we gain deeper respect for artists, not only for their skill but for their endurance, vulnerability, and vision. And for artists themselves, honoring the process means giving themselves the freedom to explore without judgment, to fail without fear, and to grow through every stage. Because in the end, art is not just what we create, it's who we become in the act of creating.